Hi, it's Art, short for Art Amino, and you can find me at CU Artist pretty much everywhere. I recently watched a video by Kelsey Rodriguez talking about art and originality, and it had me thinking about some stuff, so I wanted to chat about that. Definitely a good video. I would recommend going to watch it. I will link it in the description. A lot of what she talks about is how having inspiration is good, actually, and since it is pretty much impossible to create anything truly original, just kind of be aware of that and explore a lot of content so you're not just creating the exact same thing somebody else has, even though that's not entirely possible, but also being aware of that and studying those things with intentionality and realizing the things that you do like from them. So, I don't know, I think it was interesting. I used to be more active in the general Art Amino, and at one point I somehow got to be somebody managing a group chat that was on there, and I definitely had to moderate a conversation at one point that is related to this. Mind you, the age of people on that app is pretty young generally, so I'm not judging the people who were a part of this, but I think it is an interesting anecdote. There was somebody who, was showing an original character that they had, and I think asking for some critique on it, and somebody else came into the chat and was, really going in on this person about how the original character was not at all original, and they really needed to research extensively so they didn't just come up with something somebody else had already exactly made. And then they were like, here's an example of my OC that I did a lot of the research for, and it was like a TV-headed character, which they're cool. I think they are interesting. It has definitely been done before, however. I definitely had to point out to this person, hey, nothing can be ever truly original. Everybody is influenced by something. There have been so many creative people in the world throughout history. Everything has been done before at some point. It's a matter of how you personally can put that into your own words and art style, because your brain and hands are going to be different from anybody else's. So I do think that that can really be a younger artist sort of mindset of thinking that you can be truly original, but it is still a fear that gets to me this day, honestly. So I just kind of have to tell myself the same things that I was saying in that chat, it is going to be different because of all of the reasons previously stated. But I do think sometimes that feeling, well, one, it can be I'm doubting everything ever, but two, it can be a kind of indicator that I do need to be more aware of the tropes that I'm using. And like Kelsey Rodriguez mentioned in her video, not trying to be original, but trying to do it interestingly, as well as making sure that I am consuming other pieces of artwork of a lot of different varieties so that I have a wider pool of thoughts to pull from. But it can also be an indicator that I need to add a little bit more spice to the story with more experiences that I need to have before I can write it better. Keeping the story spicy and having pizzazz is definitely something that is hard and difficult to necessarily think about when you do need to change things that have been there in the story for a while. So yeah, I think the video should definitely be watched because it is also very interesting to me. I'm way less of a traditional artist, and especially oil painting, so hearing the different words used to talk about oil painting and that kind of artwork is always interesting, and it can be really helpful to hear that other people also can struggle with that worry of originality, but just trying to keep your artwork interesting is a good way to go about it. That is all I have for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you tomorrow.